From the time children are born, they are always making decisions that form their personality, their goals, sometimes hidden in life, and how they react to perceived insecurity and stress. So they're constantly asking themselves these three questions, not consciously, but subconsciously. Who they are. Are they a good girl? Or are they a bad girl? Are they capable? Or are they incapable? And then they're asking, what is the world like? Is it safe or threatening? Is it friendly or unfriendly? And the third question is, what do they need to do to survive or to thrive based on the above decision of the first two questions? So the questions again are, who am I? Am I a good girl or a bad girl? Am I capable or am I not capable? And then what is the world like? Is it a safe place or a threatening place? Friendly or unfriendly? Chaotic or calm? And then what do you need to do to survive or thrive? After I ask these three questions in one of my positive discipline workshops, we'll do a really, really intense experiential activities. So all of the learning activities that I do with educators and with parents are experiential. So you really get into the role of the child and you understand, or at least question, what was I thinking? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? And what am I deciding to do? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? And what am I deciding to do? And this activity is called Competent Giant. And if you've ever done it before, which if anyone's ever practiced positive discipline, I'm sure they've done it. It's a very popular and very intense activity. And one parent, you role play, and one parent is standing on a chair. And then the other parent is role playing the child, and they're kneeling on the ground. So it's really a very, the difference there. And then I tell the parents and I give them like an acting lesson, and I say, really be like really mean. And that's why it's really intense, because some people can actually be really mean. And I did it once. I was in front of a very, very big group of parents, about 50 parents, and I practiced because I wanted all the parents to then go and practice. It was at a Montessori school. And I go, this is what, when you're up there, I want you to actually play the role. And I really let it out to this poor woman who was my child at the time. And I actually had a gentleman come up to me afterward, and he was like, Kristen, I need to leave. I need to walk away and just take some time. I can't participate in this activity, because that was the type of parent that he had. He had this there's the four parenting types, but it's that authoritarian parent, that really demanding, and maybe you ridicule or you punish. Of course, punishment is that authoritarian, your way or the highway. So there's not a lot of wiggle room. And then with the role playing, we do teach a lesson. So you always teach a positive discipline tool. So the tool that we usually teach here is that connection before correction. And that ability to connect first before you correct, because sometimes you have to correct them and sometimes they need discipline, right? But it doesn't have to be punitive. It doesn't have to be demeaning. It doesn't have to ruin their soul and their spirit, you know? And so understanding the belief behind the behavior, that when you feel that child, maybe, looking up at the parent who's yelling, and hey, we've all done it. We've all been a little triggered at times and maybe we've yelled, but that there is a belief behind the behavior and the child is wondering, are they a bad kid? And is this a threatening, household and pretty unfriendly? And then it usually will be a survival-based decision that they make. And what we can understand through really learning so much about child development is that there's a goal. There's a goal to this behavior, and I help parents to become that detective and help to figure out what is that mistaken goal and what is this behavior telling us? Because usually it is just another form of communication. All right, so that's that belief behind the behavior. And if you want to learn more, comment down below and let me know what type of questions, the other questions that I had that really helps you to connect, because I will just end with this, is what does that connection look like? That connection before correction is you're maybe asking like a curiosity question, like, so what's your picture of what's going on here? What's your plan? What do you think would be some benefits for you? And really asking with curiosity, and that curiosity usually brings that connection. All right, bye for now. Have a great day.